So I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, there you go. Just a minute. Not functioning. Naghang na. Ano ba yan? Okay, there you have it. So good afternoon, everyone. So as if I am the reporter, okay? So I'll be doing the report. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our lesson or story for this afternoon. So it is not necessary that you're going to present the title first, but in my own, I could have it. So I'm welcoming you to the story, The Trouble in Beijing. This is written by Charlson Ong. So what do you normally see in the picture? Anyone? Anyone from the students who have joined? So what is the commonality or the common denominator in these three pictures I have shown you this afternoon? They are, or they picture what? Anyone?
China.
Okay, they picture China because
China.
the first picture is
Dragon.
dance. The second picture at the lower part is a temple, of course. And the other one is a Chinese woman or Chinese lady with a Chinese fan. Okay. So we have already an intuition or an idea that the story that we're going to tackle this afternoon came from China, right? Okay. So I'll be teaching you some Chinese languages that I have learned from the internet, of course. The first one is, how are you today? So how do we say that? Ni Jin Chan Hao Ma. So will you repeat it after me? Ni Jin Tian Hao Ma. It's Ni
How are
Sao.
you?
Ni hao.
Jin Chan Hao Ma.
Okay, how are you today? So is it Hen Hao or Yoshu? What? Hen Hao. Very good. You don't I can't hear a Chinese accent with that. Hen Hao. Okay, it's between Hen Hao or Yoshu. So when they tell you later on when you go to China or any Chinese man, Ni Jin Chan Hao Ma, then you say Hen Hao or Yoshu. But when you say ladies and gentlemen, Nu Shimen Shang Sheng Man. Okay, Nu Shimen Shang Sheng Man.
Nagalas.
Or Wo Hen Hao. So when they say Ni Jin Chan Hao Ma, Wo Hen Hao. Okay, so those are just some Chinese languages that we're going to learn this afternoon. So it's up to you if you'll learn it or not. So that's what it is. Okay, after Chinese language, okay, this is just a hint, okay? This is one part, yes, ma'am. This is just one part of your presentation later on. So you can introduce some language that you have learned from your particular place. Then, of course, apart from that, we should have the author's background. So who is the author then? He is none other than? Allah, you don't
Charlson
know? Okay, it's Charlson Ong. So who is Charlson Ong? So Charlson Ong is a Filipino-Chinese writer who has penned award-winning works in Philippine literature. So when we say award-winning works, so there is really that gravitating force from his literature that would attract readers. Okay, maybe some type of aura, okay, or some type of emotion embedded to his writings. So these are some of the titles of his stories: Embarrassment of Riches, 2002, Banyaga Song of War, 2006, Blue Angel, White Shadow, 2010, and he currently teaches at UP Diliman. Okay, so Filipino Chinese. So he is a Filipino Chinese. Means he can talk in Filipino or in Chinese. So actually there are many right here in the Philippines who is like him. Okay, so there are some vocabularies that we can find in the story. Okay, so some of them I think are really hard to understand. That's why we're going to unlock them. Number one is affront. Okay, when we say affront, affront. Okay, when we say affront, it is to insult, especially to the face by behavior or language. Second one, exhilarated. Okay, exhilarated means very happy and excited or elated. The third one is trepidation. Okay, trepidation would mean a nervous or fearful feeling of uncertainty. So are you still there? I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, just hold it. Just hold for a minute because I'm trying to see to it that my connection is back. Oh, what will I do with this? Kelly, Kelly. Okay, can you now hear me? Anyone from this group? Naririnig niyo na po ba ako?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm so sorry. There was a bit issue with the signal right now. So we are now in number 3, which is trepidation. a nervous or fearful feeling of uncertain agitation. The fourth one is bleated, to make the natural cry of a sheep or goat. Then 5, sundry, including many things of different kinds. Okay. So what do you see on this picture? So this is what we call the 4 picks, 1 word. So if you are to summarize these 4 pictures on your screen, what is the common denominator of them? Anyone? Hello? What is the common denominator of the 4 pictures presented on screen? Anyone? So what is the common denominator on the screen?
Gago ka.
Okay, so going back to our, what is the common denominator of the 4 pictures on screen? Come on. Anyone from the group? Hello?
I got it, sir.
What is the common denominator of from the 4 pictures presented on the screen? If you are to summarize the 4 pictures on screen.
War.
Okay, it's a war, yes.
COD.
But to be specific, that these pictures on screen portray the World War II. Okay, so that is the answer. How about this? If you will see these 4 pictures on screen in 1 word, what is the common denominator for the 4 pictures on screen? Anyone? Oh, come on. Okay, it talks about riot. What's your answer? You can unmute yourself. Oh, Jamaica. No one?
China.
Okay, very good, Rod Allen. So they represent China. Okay, this one here, like I'll be using my, where's that? Arrow options. I don't know. This one, the laser point. So in this part, okay, can you see the red pointer? So this one is in Hong Kong. This is in Taiwan. I think it's Taiwan or Macau. Then the coronavirus. Okay, so that's it. So they all represent, or they portray or describe China. Okay. Okay, how about this? If you see these 4 pictures on screen, what particular place in China do we see these 4 pictures on screen? That is included in the title of the story. What's that place?
Beijing.
Beijing.
Okay, Beijing. Okay, let's now proceed to the story, The Trouble in Beijing. So who are the characters in The Trouble in Beijing? So we have the father. So the father played favoritism. If you are to read the whole story, then you will get why is it that the father played favoritism. We have also the Xiaomei or Simon, which is the daughter. But in this story, you could see her as a persistent lady. We have also Roger, the son, died of tumor. Then Larry, the lover of Xiaomei. So they are the main characters in the story, including the mother. So let's now proceed to the plot of the story. For the introduction, the father in the story was getting ready to travel in TIANANMEN, a province of China. So he missed his birthplace, and he found out that there was a war or revolt going on. That's why he wept for them and planned to visit them, but to no avail. Since during that time, actually in the story, he was already here in the Philippines. Okay, so in our history, we believe that there was already a trade between China and Philippines. That's why in Xiaomei's father, when he was 50, they moved already here in the Philippines. What is the reason? So to help market his uncle, the silk, textile, and food stuff. That's why. So that is only a bit of his experience during his childhood. I'm referring to the father in the story. That's why during that time when there was already a revolt in TIANANMEN here, okay, when there was already a revolt in China, so his father wishes to go to the mainland. Okay, that was the father of Xiaomei's experience. Okay, that one. Okay, that's the introductory part of the story. Actually, there was also a point wherein they were trying to argue about their, what do you call that? Their belief. Because the father in the story was already converted to, what's this? The father was already the Protestant, while the mother was still a Buddhist, and the children are Catholic. Okay, so you could see really the conflict and in the introductory part of the story. Okay, like for example, that's the father. So this is the Tiananmen Square in China. How about the rising action? So news from China changed the setup of Xiaomei's father, for he valued Christianity and he needed to share it to the mainland. So that's that's already the commotion going on, or the conflict going on. So since he was converted to Protestantism, so he wanted to share it also to his brothers in mainland China. Okay, and for the climax, personal problem mixed up with Xiaomei's new boyfriend Larry, which her father knew to be a communist, and he didn't care about Xiaomei's relationship with him, but rather Roger's death became a gap between her and her father. So that's the climax. So Xiaomei had her boyfriend named Larry, and actually Larry also had this 12-year-old son, which probably would not assure Xiaomei because her parents are strict, especially they are Chinese. Okay, and for the falling action, Xiaomei wanted to reconnect with her father, and she even informed him that she was no longer connected with Larry. Okay, and for the denouement or the ending, she and her father discovered themselves to be in the cemetery and were both melancholic about the death of Roger. Then her father became sorry for what he had done to Xiaomei for all those years. O, di ba nakakaiyak? Okay, so what problem does the story present? So war. War prevented the father go to mainland to share the good news he found in his new religion. Valuing tradition more on the reality. So who has the problem? Xiaomei. She needed to get in touch and have favor with his father. What are the conflict in the story? So man versus society or nature. Since they are experiencing war, then man versus himself. Okay, atmosphere. Is it real or fictitious? It is real because those struggles can be experienced by anyone, even in their younger days. Okay, on the side of Xiaomei, we believe that in Chinese tradition, they valued more the boys, okay, or the gents, because they are the heirs. They believe that they are the heirs. But for girls, it's a bit an issue, okay, for Chinese. Rural or urban? Urban. The setting is of the story is in the city, especially in Manila. Okay, the theme, where does the story takes us? Okay, the story takes us to history. What does the author wants to tell us? Okay, the author wants to tell us that her story could be our pattern or mirror. Okay, like for you, you will be having soon your own family and you need to treat them equally as well. So how does the author tell us? Directly or indirectly? So based from the story, it's indirectly because we were not the one who are included in the story, but rather we can gain inspiration or knowledge and wisdom from her experiences. Okay, how about the structure? Logical. The author's style is very unique. Second, traditional. The author wants to emphasize how important culture and traits of a Chinese Filipino. I'm so sorry with my spelling. Then third, artistic. The flow of the story remains as the value of a family. Okay, and the tone of the story, the main characters portray the value of a family, especially Xiaomei. Then the personal value, be humble to people around you. Especially like in the 10 Commandments, we are to what? To respect our parents, whoever they are. Because that's the moment that we will realize that they are still our parents no matter what. And if we respect them, then we can live long for this earth. Okay, the author realized the true value as a man, more of a human, especially the father. See how to treat the family well? Especially how to treat the family well. Ideological because the story touched the hearts of the reader. Okay, so simple facts about family structure. So we have there the simple facts about family structure in Chinese culture. Okay, so I would be willing to be part of that. Okay, especially if we are not experiencing pandemic. And the last one, so okay, this consists my family. So I am very proud of them. So that's my mother's side. So we have the Castillos family reunion back then in the year 2015. And I'm so glad I was able to preserve this picture. So that is we could really have a family here on earth. Okay, and then do you have faith still with God though the heavens fall? Okay, that's a personal question, by the way. And hope to see each one to the family God is preparing for each one of us. Okay. For we are taking pains to do what is right, not only in the eyes of the Lord, but also in the eyes of men. 2 Corinthians 8:21. So we should not be weary, okay, in doing good. For in the right time and in the right place, we will be wearing the crown of glory. Our God will be giving us soon. Okay, I think that's the last part. Thank you for listening. Okay, do we have